Oh man, what a character we'll be covering for today's installment. Everyone's favorite green ogre himself, Shrek, the main character of the franchise of the same name. He may seem tough and fierce upon first meeting him, but deep down, throughout the franchise's run, he does have a good heart. Last year I covered Owen Tip, and in that video, I did briefly mention that I would have covered Shrek and Donkey if I could, but this series can only hold up to 15 episodes, and so Shrek was pushed back to this year. I say just Shrek because I'll be covering Donkey in another video, as there's just too much to say about him, and he deserves to have his own video. Same with Fiona as well. But anyways, let's waste no time and cover the iconic Green Ogre himself. Let's do this thing. Shrek made his debut in the franchise in the original movie of the same name, where he was seen being happy when living in his swamp by himself. But only when the fairy tale creatures invaded it, he then goes to visit Lord Farquaad, who then assigns him on a quest to rescue Princess Fiona from the Dragon's Keep. And we all know what happened from there. Before meeting Donkey and Fiona, Shrek lived in a solitary life, preferring not to associate himself with others due to people's fear of him, while occasionally playing on their fear to frighten away intruders. During his quest to rescue Fiona and get his swamp back, however, Shrek slowly begins to open up to his companions, revealing his insecurities about how others perceive him. With assistance from Donkey, Shrek realizes his feelings for Fiona and confesses his love for her during her wedding to Lord Farquaad. He's fiercely protective of Fiona and his allies, and he'll go to great lengths to help them in any way. Since marrying Fiona, Shrek would have been deathly afraid of the prospect of having children, possibly due to his upbringing as an ogre. By the end of Shrek the Third, however, he overcomes this fear and proves to be a caring and loving father. Voice acting wise, like Doc, there isn't a whole lot to say, as Shrek has had two VAs across the franchise's run. The first of these being Mike Myers, his main voice actor. Now, fun fact of the day, Myers was originally going to voice Shrek in a Canadian accent, but it's assumed that this was turned down from the higher-ups at DreamWorks, and thus he was given the iconic Scottish accent we know today. And let's be real here, I think we can all agree that Myers is Shrek. Another instance where the actor is the character. And then we have Michael Goff, who is Shrek's singing voice and his voice in the games, as well as minor things like the Thriller parody. Goff is actually pretty good as a Shrek voice, and his singing voice when compared to Myers sounds pretty seamless. Certainly when compared to things like Pat's speaking voice in his movie compared to his speaking voice. But that's another story. Now, I'm currently in the process of rewatching the current 4 movies for the upcoming Shrek retrospective in the future. But upon the clips I've seen thus far, I think it's safe to say that I've picked what is, as of now, my favorite Shrek moment in the entire series. And it's during the climax of the 4th movie. I'm not going to go too in-depth with this, as that'll be for when I review Shrek 4 in the future. But all I'll say is, wow, what a standout moment for our main character. And it's during this moment when Shrek, instead of trying to go back to his timeline, tries to fix the timeline he's currently stuck in at this point, which I love to see unfold. And it's on top of the incredible music and action that really makes this a true standout for the Green Ogre himself. And in terms of weak moments, honestly, to my knowledge, I don't recall a single unlikable or weak usage of him. Not even in Shrek the Third, as far as I know. So, for now, I guess it's smooth sailing for Shrek. Shrek has been through it all, going from being by himself in his swamp and being feared by villagers, to being a loving, caring father. From rescuing Fiona, meeting her parents, crowning Artie, and literally almost losing his life he had worked so hard for due to a Rumpelstiltskin contract. Like, wow. To say that Shrek's had quite the character journey would be a major understatement. And being the flagship character of DreamWorks is a big responsibility for the team to manage. I think it paid off so well. And it's no wonder that, despite what we may see of him, he became a fan favorite character and one of the greats from DreamWorks' library. Man, what an episode! I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of this year's series. I have to say that, out of all the crossover movie characters I had to cover for this year's series, Shrek was the one I was the most excited about. And I had a blast talking about him. But the Shrek mayhem isn't done yet, as next time, I'll be covering Puss in Boots. And if you guys want to stay tuned for that, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn post notifications to stay up to date and to not miss out on the newest content. Until next time, bye guys.
And then I saw her face.